France versus Morocco, two teams that already know what it's like to go far in a World Cup and now face each other again with a very clear goal to secure a ticket to the semi-finals. The match will be played at the Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Boston, a venue that will offer a spectacular atmosphere and where a huge presence of both French and Moroccan fans is expected. It will be one of those matches where every detail can decide who advances. France is coming off a narrow win over Paraguay in a hard-fought match. Morocco, for its part, put in a great performance by eliminating Canada and showing that it remains one of the most competitive teams in the tournament. But at this stage of the World Cup, there are no absolute favorites anymore. It doesn't matter how you got here anymore. The players' names don't matter. It doesn't matter the past. Now only one thing matters: winning. Because the winner will be just 2 matches away from being crowned world champion. And that's why millions of fans are looking for exactly the same information. What time is the France vs Morocco match? In Spain, the match will start at 10 o'clock p.m. In Portugal, it will start at 9 o'clock p.m. local time. In France, the ball will start rolling at 10 o'clock p.m. In Morocco, the match will begin at 9 o'clock p.m. In Mexico Central Time, it will be at 3 o'clock p.m. In Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, and Panama, the match will begin at 3 o'clock p.m. In Costa Rica, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and Nicaragua, it will start at 2 o'clock p.m. In Venezuela, Bolivia, Chile, and Paraguay, the kickoff will be at 4 o'clock p.m. In Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil, the match will begin at 5 o'clock p.m. In the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Cuba, it will start at 4 o'clock p.m. If you're watching from the United States, these are the times. East Coast, New York, Miami, Orlando, Boston, 4 o'clock p.m. Central Time, Chicago, Dallas, Houston, 3 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, Denver, 2 o'clock p.m. West Coast, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, 1 o'clock p.m. And in Canada, Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal, 4 o'clock p.m. Winnipeg, 3 o'clock p.m. Calgary and Edmonton, 2 o'clock p.m. Vancouver, 1 o'clock p.m. So now you know. Check your schedule carefully because we're about to witness one of the great matches of the quarterfinals. France wants to continue its path toward another world title, while Morocco dreams of making history again. Block 2. Where to watch France versus Morocco? TV channels and official platforms? And now let's go with the question that's being asked the most before this big match. Where can you watch France versus Morocco live? If you are in France, the match can be watched for free on TF1 as well as on the official platforms with World Cup broadcasting rights. Pre-match coverage starts hours early with live Boston updates, tactical analysis, and the latest on the team. Y toda la última hora de la selección francesa. In Morocco, the match can be watched on Ariladia and Bein Sportsmena, which will provide special coverage for all of North Africa and the Middle East. In Spain, the match will be available on La One of Televisión Española, as well as RTVE Play, so you can follow the game from any device. It can also be watched on DAZN, with special programming dedicated to these quarterfinals. In Portugal, the broadcast will be handled by Previa. Correrá a cargo de Sport TV. In Mexico, the match will be available on Canal 5, Las Estrellas, TUDN, and VIX. In the United States, the match can be followed in 2 ways. In English, on the Fox Sports app and Fox One. In Spanish, Telemundo, Peacock, and Fubo. In Canada, the broadcast will be available on TSN, CTV, and RDS. In South America, practically the entire continent will be able to follow this match through D Sports, Telefe, Taisi Sports, D Sports, and DGO. In Chile, Chilevisión. Argentina, Telefe, Taisi Sports, D Sports, DGO, Chile, Chilevisión, D Sports, DGO, Brasil, TV Globo, Sport TV, Café TV, Colombia, Caracol, Televisión, RCN, D Sports, DGO, Perú, América, Televisión, D Sports, DGO, Ecuador, Teleamazonas, D Sports, DGO, Uruguay, D Sports and DGO, Ecuador, Teleamazonas, D Sports and DGO, Uruguay, D Sports and DGO, Paraguay, Tigo Sports, D Sports and DGO, Paraguay, Tigo Sports, D Sports and DGO, Venezuela, Televen, D Sports and DGO, Bolivia, Red Uno, Unitel, D Sports, and DGO. In Central America, the broadcast will be available in Costa Rica on Teletica, Guatemala, Chapin TV, Honduras, Televicentro, El Salvador, TCS, Nicaragua, Canal 10, Panama, RTC TV, and TVN. And in the Caribbean, countries like the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Cuba will be able to follow the match through D Sports, DGO, and the local operators with broadcasting rights. So now you know it doesn't matter where in the world you're watching from. France and Morocco are set for one of the biggest quarterfinal matchups. A duel between two teams with a lot of talent, two very different styles, and only one reward: a spot in the semifinals of the 2026 World Cup. After reviewing the schedules and channels, it's time to talk about the match in detail, possible lineups, individual matchups, and tactical keys. France could go with a very recognizable 4-2-3-1 formation. In goal, Mike Maignan. In defense, Jules Koundé on the right, William Saliba and Dayot Upamecano as center-backs, and Theo Hernandez at left-back. In midfield, Aurélien Tchouaméni and Eduardo Camavinga could form the double pivot, providing physical balance and ball distribution. Ahead of them, a line full of talent: Ousmane Dembélé on the right, Antoine Griezmann with freedom between the lines, and Kylian Mbappe attacking from the left. Up front, as the focal point, Marcus Thuram or Randal Kolo Muani. Morocco, on the other hand, might go for a very intense and solid 4-3-3 formation. In goal, Yassine Bounou. In defense, Achraf Hakimi on the right, Nayef Aguerd and Romain Saiz as center-backs, and Noussair Mazraoui on the left. In midfield, Sofiane Amrabat would be the defensive anchor, accompanied by Azzedine Ounahi and Bilal El Khanous, two players with mobility to press, receive, and launch transitions. Up front, Hakim Ziyech, Youssef En-Nesyri, and Sofiane Boufal could form the attacking trio. The first big key will be the duel with Mbappe. Mbappe versus Hakimi. They know each other perfectly. They have shared the locker room and know how to go at each other. If Mbappe receives with space, Morocco will suffer. But if Hakimi manages to push him into uncomfortable areas, the match could become much more balanced. The second key will be in the midfield. Morocco needs Amrabat to close passing lanes to Griezmann. If France finds Griezmann free between the lines, the match could open up. And the third key will be transition play. Morocco doesn't need to have the ball for many minutes to be dangerous. It's enough for them to win the ball, break, and find Hakimi, Ziyech, or En-Nesyri. France has more individual firepower. Morocco has a solid unit, organization, and tremendous competitive spirit. And in a quarterfinal, that can absolutely level everything out.